So why should we meditate? Now, first of all, sometimes in the West, when we think of meditation, there are some cliché about that. We think it's emptying your mind, relaxing under a mango tree. But that's not what meditation is about. Meditation is a translation of Oriental words from Sanskrit and Tibetan that both means to cultivate, to become more familiar with a way of being. So it can be cultivating a better understanding of reality, like interdependence and impermanence. It can be cultivating emotional balance, cultivating loving kindness, or familiarizing yourself with a new way of perceiving phenomena and translating them in happiness and suffering. So it's an acquisition of a skill. So why should we bother? I think we have to be honest. Where are we in our life? Who will pretend that everything is perfect, everything is optimal? So if we look honestly, there are definitely things that we can optimize. No, people say, well, that's how I am. I'm a mixture of light and shadows, and hate, anger, jealousy is part of life. But if I tell you, let's make a seminar for a weekend, we will boost jealousy and cultivate anger, who's going to come? Nobody. If we say, let's cultivate loving kindness, people are more interested. So we know intuitively that we'll be better off if we were less the slave of those negative emotions. But we think maybe it's not possible. So now, the fact that any training has a consequences, and also in neuroscience, if we train to any novel aspect of experience, it does change the brain. That's the principle of neuroplasticity. If you're exposed to something new, your brain will change. So it is true for learning chess, it is true for learning movements of gymnastics, and it is true for training in loving kindness, focus attention, and those qualities that meditation brings about. So what meditation is dealing with, it is with the mind. And we are dealing with our mind from morning till evening. And right now the mind is like a restless monkey. It never sits still for a second, totally unruly, and the consequences of that is we are torn apart by hopes and fears, by chains of thoughts that usually cause a lot of inner conflicts, and also makes us act and speak in ways that are detrimental to others' happiness. So now, how to proceed? First of all, not to be the slave of our own mind. It can be our best friend, but also our worst enemy. To know better how the mind works. So to do that, we need first to have a mind that is a little bit more clear, a little bit more stable. So most of the meditation will start with simple exercise to train our basic attention, mindfulness. So we'll take a support of an object on which we concentrate, or we may concentrate on the coming and going of the breath, sitting in a balanced position. And when we do that, naturally, the ebullition, the turmoil of thoughts will subside a little bit, we'll gain more stability, we'll gain more clarity. When we have a little bit progress in that, then we can use that in order now to train, say, loving kindness. How would that be done? We all have experience of loving kindness. Who didn't have feeling of unconditional love for someone, for a dear friend, a child, a parent, a companion, an animal? But that comes, stays a while, then goes, and it's gone. But the difference here is we will bring it to our mind, maybe visualizing someone, and just naturally an outpour of loving kindness. And then when it's very alive in our mind, we just nourish it for more than 15 seconds, for 5, 10, 20 minutes. If it tends to decline, we'll revive it. So that very process, if we repeat it day after day, is exactly how we change. And it's also exactly how neuroscience says that the brain changes. So here again, the subjective experience of the meditator matches very well with what neuroscience tells you about how to change the way you are. So that allows one, we all have potential for loving kindness, for focused attention, for mindfulness, for emotional balance, but maybe we use 1/10 of our potential. I have a friend who is 64 like me, and he used to be running when he was young, and then he gave up. And he said, let's start again. So when he started, after 5 minutes he was running out of breath. He persevered, Last year he ran the marathon at Montreal. So that potential was with him, but it's like useless. So likewise, if we train, there's so much potential that we have untapped for basic human qualities, which I think are so more essential. You know, playing the piano is wonderful. If you don't play, it's not a drama. If you don't run a marathon, so what? But if you lack emotional balance, empathy, loving kindness, compassion, mindfulness, then it is a kind of drama. So I think we can easily train that.